Yo guys, what is good? Today we have the top 5 feminists that get triggered live on television. Hope you guys enjoy. There's some social justice warriors that get fucked in the ass. So hope you guys enjoy this and peace.
Well, Barack Obama for 7+ years has played the race card that every time somebody criticized him, it was because he was black, and it scared off a lot of Republicans. So now they're going to switch and try to play the gender card. The problem is the American public is tired of this class warfare. The reason why they don't like Mrs. Bill Clinton is not because she's a woman. It's because she's dishonest and because she is hiding something. She's hiding the truth. She tries to play herself off as a victim, like she's Little Red Riding Hood, but she's more like the big bad wolf. As soon as you turn your back on you, she'll bite you. Now look, this is politics. It's a contact sport. It's not for the faint of heart. My response to what President Obama said is, if she can't stand the heat, she should get out of the kitchen.
Julie? Well, first and foremost, I think you just proved my point, Sheriff. And, you and I were not numbered last week, and I love you, but she's not Mrs. Bill Clinton. She happens to be Hillary Rodham Clinton, who's her own person and is running as her own individual. She's a former senator. She's a Secretary of State. She's not Mrs. Bill Clinton, and I think you just encapsulated exactly why a lot of women think that
it's not my job to give you her bio.
It's not her bio, but it's also not your job to assume that she's just the little woman who's married to
she
Mr.
has run with that name for a long time.
Well, she's run for that name because she happens to be married to the former president, but she's certainly not Mrs. Bill Clinton.
Alright, so I just want to stop the video right here. Like, this is really pissing me off. Like, she just really needs to go and just...
You should embrace it.
Well, no, she shouldn't embrace it. She should embrace the fact that she's a very accomplished lawyer in her own right, a very accomplished woman in her own right.
Let me ask you this, Julie. Let me ask you this. Do you think there's something to the notion that many Americans find the idea of a female president somehow threatening? Do you think there's anything to that?
Unfortunately, I do, and it's a shame because I think, but you have polling showing, poll after poll showing, you have Anna Greenberg, who is a very prominent pollster, saying that her numbers went up when she focused specifically on women's issues, whether it's standing by her man when she was first lady after the Monica Lewinsky scandal, or working on traditional women's issues, or even working as Secretary of State for Barack Obama, who's a man, but her numbers are not so great when she's running for something, when she's working in healthcare reform, when she's become a principal and taken on roles that are traditionally men's roles. And I think, unfortunately, I hate to say this because as a woman who is living in the 21st century, I would hope this is not the case, but empirical data shows, unfortunately, that it is the case.
Mm-hmm. Sheriff, I remember 8 years ago when Sarah Palin was on the Republican ticket, they were doing full articles about how she was going to balance her situation of having, I think, 5 kids and being vice president. It was just like, basically, for lack of a better term, screw you for writing that, right? Because nobody was wondering how Barack Obama was going to balance having 2 kids.
Yep.
So it's,
Megan,
it's
you
still
took the
there
words
to
out
some
of
extent.
my mouth.
Go ahead.
When you mentioned Sarah Palin, because the way the Democrats treated Sarah Palin was nothing short of shameful. Also, the way they treated Condoleezza Rice when she was the Secretary of State, they did the same thing. So all of a sudden, when it's one of those women who gets close to the White House, then it's okay to trash them. But when it's one of their women, then they try to play the victim card. America's tired of that stuff right now. She should stand on her own 2 feet. Take the heat. Look, this is for the presidency of the United States. Nobody's going to feel sorry for her.
Right.
Nobody's going to back down. I'm glad Donald Trump's not handling her with kid gloves.
Right. Julie, that is true that there was Sarah Palin endured a lot of sexism when she was running, and the women's groups, I mean, the silence was deafening. They were not there for her, you tell me, because she is a Republican.
No question, and I agree with you 100%. Sarah Palin got the short shrift in many ways.
So you understand why Republicans
100%.
are like, boo-hoo, we're not listening to your complaints now. Where were you when one of ours was being attacked?
First and foremost, some of us were there for Sarah Palin, not specifically on her policies towards women or things that we help women. But some of us did feel that Sarah Palin got incredibly short shrift, especially when you said what people were saying, how is she going to balance having children, and she had a newborn.
And put her on the cover, I think it was of Newsweek, in a photo shoot she did for a biking magazine.
Yep. But listen, I'm not sure she should have posed for that necessarily for that picture. But,
oh, come on.
But having said that, look, I mean, there's no question that if you went to the Republican convention, as all of us did, and you saw some of the buttons being handed out, and you saw some of the things that were said about her, she was called the B word, she was called the C word, she was called all sorts of names that I've never heard a man being called, and you can't say that's anything other than sexism, unfortunately.
All right, I got to leave it at that. Give you the last word. Great to see you both.
All right, for the number 2 spot, we have a reporter trying to get under this guy's skin. His name's like Milo. He always likes to trigger feminists, and he likes to give them a good debate. But this reporter just tries to particularly get under his skin and try hard to trigger him.
Just before we came on air, I spoke to Milo Yiannopoulos. He's a senior editor at Breitbart News, and there's even been speculation that he too could find his way into the Trump White House. I began by asking him what exactly alt-right means.
Well, it's a very young, vibrant, exciting new movement of conservatives in America. They are populists, they're nationalists, which is not a dirty word in America. They care about immigration, they care about trade, and they really hate political correctness.
And you would describe yourself as one of the sort of cheerleaders?
No, the media is desperate to crown me the queen of it. All I've ever done as a reporter is give them a fair hearing, give them a fair crack of the whip in the press. For that crime, I have been called all sorts of awful names.
But they're too extreme even for you, then?
No, I wouldn't say that. We're fellow travellers on some issues, but, you know, I'm very pro-Iraq, I'm very pro-Israel. There are all sorts of, you know, points of difference, I think.
Do you think your erstwhile boss, Steve Bannon, chairman of Breitbart and now Trump's chief strategist, do you think he has horribly regressive attitudes? He's been described by some liberals an anti-Semite, a white nationalist. Have they got that wrong?
Well, Breitbart is a company staffed almost entirely by Jews. I am a gay Jew, and he made me into a star. He, you know, flew over from America to hire Raheem Kassam to run the London office, who is a, you know, brown-skinned Muslim. This stuff is ridiculous. What a lot of Brits don't always understand is how ugly and terrifying American politics can be. The name-calling can be absolutely extraordinary, and lots of Brits...
And name-calling by Breitbart. I mean, that is ugly. Look at these headlines.
Well, no,
Would you rather your child had feminism or cancer?
Well, that's not Steve,
There's
that's
no
mine.
hiring bias against women in tech. They just suck at interviews. That's extreme. That's ugly.
No, it's not extreme. They're my headlines. They're not Steve's. And
how are they not extreme?
Would you rather your child had feminism or cancer? Well, women agree with me. I mean, 7% of British women describe themselves as feminists. Just 7. It's only journalists who are still feminists.
Feminism is actually about...
Feminism is about equality, of course. You know, they say one thing...
You don't believe that. You're redefining it.
Well, no, they say one thing and they behave very differently. Feminists like to say, when they're on the defensive, oh, don't you believe in equal rights? But the way they actually behave is nasty, vindictive,
Do you believe in equality for women? Do you believe in equality for women?
Any normal person does. I want women to
so you're actually a feminist, then?
Well, I would describe myself as a second-wave feminist, but the modern version of feminism, this ugly, sociopathic, vindictive, mean, spiteful third-wave feminism, which you know, which is defined by misandry. Okay. Women agree with me, not with you.
Donald Trump has talked about governing for all Americans, and yet Breitbart, the chief strategist now, has these extreme, divisive headlines. Do you understand why people are fearful about the divisions that are being caused?
No, I don't agree at all. Actually, what we do is we do something quite rare in journalism these days. We publish satire, we publish provocation, we publish all kinds of journalism that traditionally would have been left-wing. You know, the sorts of dissident, mischievous, you know, thought-provoking kind of stuff where you're like, well, wait a minute. Okay. And then you read it and you think, oh, actually, well, that's changed my mind.
Right,
don't you find,
no, I want to put some of that satire to you. I want to put some of your own satire to you.
Wait
a minute. I know you want women to log off the internet, but we are now in the Channel 4 News studio. You have to allow me to speak. You said that women offended online should log off. You said, yes, we'll certainly let women onto the men's internet a few times a year, as long as you follow a few basic rules. You said, wait, let me finish. You said, mass Muslim immigration must stop, or people will know real rape culture. Are we supposed to just soak that up and take it as one big joke?
Am I wrong about that? Am I wrong about that?
Answer me. Are we supposed to just soak it up and take it as one big joke?
You're supposed to treat it as it's intended and not wrench it from context. You know perfectly well that it is a provocation designed to make people think and perhaps to make them laugh.
The guy who's behind all this provocation, the guy who hired you and turned you into a star, as you put it, is now chief strategist in the White House. What does it mean that someone who delighted in offending people, who delighted in having a laugh at Muslims and women, is now at the centre of power?
I delight in offending people. I think the grievance brigade, victimhood, you know, the idea that hurt feelings are some kind of special currency, I think that needs to come to an end, and America agrees.
What does that say about you? What does that say about the guy who is now the chief strategist? Should Steve Bannon care that people are offended?
No, because America has been ruled for 30 years by people who are too worried about what other people feel, not what other people think. and too worried about feelings versus facts. For decades, America has been run by the grievance brigade, by social justice warriors, hand-wringers, feminists, Black Lives Matter, all these groups that are preoccupied with feelings first and facts later. They spread conspiracy theories and propaganda about the wage gap, campus rape culture. This stuff isn't real.
What does it say about you, though? What does it say about Steve Bannon, who's now chief strategist, that you don't care about offending disabled people, ethnic minorities, women? You don't care about that.
I don't care
he
about
doesn't care about that.
I care about facts. I don't care about your feelings.
But I thought you believed in a post-fact universe.
So who?
That's one of your quotes.
Is it?
We live in a post-fact era. It's wonderful, you said.
Yes, what I meant from that was just telling the facts are no longer enough. You now have to be persuasive and charismatic and interesting and funny. Just telling people things isn't enough.
All right, for this next clip, we have a couple of college guys that are just pranking the public with a couple of signs that say, like, are anti-female, just trying to trigger some feminists. And just see what happens next.
If you can't open your legs for a boy, then how can you expect us to open the door for ya?
Does anyone have anything to say? Any feminists out there want to try me? Come join our group. Feminist Unite.
Feminist Unite. You get a free fedora upon joining.
Oh my God!
Come on!
Come on! I would like to make it very clear.
Yes.
I am a feminist.
Feminist!
Disgusting!
Why don't I get 100 likes on my Instagram post if I'm shirtless? If a girl did that, they'd get thousands of likes on their Instagram post.
Wow, grow some boobs.
Grow some boobs?
Yeah.
That's sexist, darn it! Oh, this is disgusting!
It's perfectly alright for girls to show a little bit of the cleavage. But when a guy shows a little bit of his pubic hairs, or maybe a little bit of that moose knuckle, everybody freaks out, huh? Huh? Eyes up here, ladies! Eyes up here! You're actually objectifying me? You're making me feel like an object right now. Folks, I'm just tired of being body shamed for my extremely below average penis. I'm sick of it!
What'd you say?
Go give them an audience. The more you ignore them, the more they'll hold.
Sexist!
He's sexist!
You're sexist!
Yes!
Free fedora!
Folks, we got a new member, new recruit!
New recruit! You have to sign up on our website. This is just an example of what you would look like.
Are you for equality for all sexes or no?
I'm for equality, I'm not sexist. I just think all women stink and that they're all sexist and that we should eliminate them all. But I'm not sexist.
Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?
No!
Feminists are sexist!
All feminists are sexist!
All women are sexist! All women are sexist! All women are sexist!
You never knock his fedora! You can't do that! You can't do that! Is it okay? Is it okay? It's okay.
She slapped me. If I slapped a girl, I would go straight to jail.
Exactly. If I assaulted her, you'd all be pummeling me right now. I would never do that.
Are you ready to protect us, males? Feminists.
Our heroes are here. Yes.
Our heroes are here.
What?
You have ID on you, man?
No ID on me.
No ID. If we were women, they wouldn't ask for ID. Sexist! Guys, can we get a group hug from everyone? Bring it all in, baby. Sir, start it off. Come on,
come on. Join the group hug. Come on.
Group hug. I need group hug, everyone. Unite.
Manerism, group hug. Get in here, boys.
Group hug.
Get in here.
Get in here.
Okay, guys. So this next video is a video that MTV and BuzzFeed has released. It's basically just bashing white males for supposedly we're racist, hypocritical pigs who like to rape women and just are terrible humans. We're not even classified as humans anymore. We're just dogs, you know. We're just a pet white male. That's what we are basically. But no, all jokes aside, these people are really not educated. just watch.
Hey, fellow white guys.
It's about to be a new year.
And there's a few things we think you could do a little bit better in 2017.
First off, try to recognize that America was never great for anyone who wasn't a white guy.
Can we all just agree that Black Lives Matter isn't the opposite of all lives matter? Black lives just matter. There's no need to overcomplicate it.
Also, Blue Lives Matter isn't a thing.
Cops weren't born with blue skin, right? I mean, yeah. They weren't born blue.
Stop bragging about being woke. Stop saying woke.
Learn what mansplaining is, and then stop doing it.
Oh, and if you're a judge, don't prioritize the well-being of an Ivy League athlete over the woman he assaulted.
We all love Beyonce. And yeah, she's black, so of course she cares about black issues. I'm talking to you, Fox News.
Feel free to take Kanye West, though. You guys can have him.
You know what you did, Kanye.
Nobody who has black friends says that they have black friends.
And just because you have black friends doesn't mean you're not racist. You can be racist with black friends.
Look, guys, we know nobody's perfect.
But honestly, you could do a little better in 2017.
Some of you guys do a great job. Some of you don't.
Please, because 2016 is bad. 2017 can't be worse than this, all right? Because this is bad.
Next up, there's this mentally ill feminist who is debating my boy Ben up here. You know, he can't. I lost track of how many feminists he's wrecked in the past, but it's pretty enjoyable, and I think it deserves the number 5 pick for today.
Okay. So you mentioned how people aren't victims of circumstance.
As a general rule, some people are, obviously.
But how do you explain people who aren't given access to certain things and stuff, and therefore cannot advance? Like, you cite like single mothers and stuff like that, and then fathers leaving them. Mm-hmm. And women, oftentimes, you see it all across the country, Planned Parenthood clinics being closed down and stuff, and they can't get access to contraceptives or abortion and stuff that would stop them from being in that situation. But you think that somehow they should just help themselves, but when in fact...
Condoms cost 35 cents. I think they can help themselves. I mean, that's the idea that contraceptives are not available in the United States is absurd. It's absurd. I'm sorry. It's crazy. The idea that you can't get cheap or free condoms anywhere. End of story. I mean, I don't see why, you know, the unsuccessful decision that you made was the decision to have sex out of wedlock and then get pregnant out of wedlock. That decision is not alleviated by killing the product.
So, since you're going to say mothers are forced to be parents, should you then also incite like laws or something like that, since you're going to force these women to be parents, that force men to be fathers?
Well, there already are. It's called paternity tests.
They're not fathers because they walk out and leave their kids, and then you have this, as you cite.
Yes, absolutely. I'm in favor of that. It's called marriage, and the left undermined it. It was awesome. The system of marriage was the greatest boon to women of all time. And then feminism came along and said women need men like fish need a bicycle. And it turns out that women need men like women need men.
That's because we live in a society that's set up so women can't get as far as men.
No, it's because God created wombs.
So women should just, you know, say suck it and have a child, suck it up and have a child?
Well, if you get pregnant, yes, because you don't get to kill things just because it's in your uterus.
It's my body. How about you just stay out of it?
How about it's dating?
How about
you don't get to kill it because it's in there.
So much about how
I don't care about your appendix. Right? I don't care about your thorax. I don't even care about your uterus. I care about what's in it.
And I can take out my appendix if I don't want it. So why can't I take out other parts of my body?
Because they're not independent living human beings.
They're not independently living human beings when they're a bundle of cells.
Oh, okay. So let me get this. At what point? So okay, let's assume that your scientific knowledge is vast. Let's assume your scientific knowledge. So are you also against partial birth abortion?
I think I don't understand why people would have
At what point does that bundle of cells become a human being in your view?
Sorry.
No, really. I mean, this is.
I just need to calm down for a second.
Sorry, did I
trigger you? Do you want to go to another question?
No, I mean, that is the relevant question. If your argument is that it's a bundle of cells, then the question becomes when it's not a bundle of cells.
Like, unless it's a threat to the mother, they form maternal abortion, it shouldn't happen. But if it's a threat to the mother's health, or the mother, I don't see why he would force a living human being to give birth to that.
Because it's another living human
So
being.
you're gonna kill the mother to save the baby? And
No, hold on. You're talking about a case where the mother's life is in danger. I don't know what you're talking about.
Repair and stuff after they're born.
I agree with you that abortion is an exception when the mother's life is in danger.
But the concept of bodily autonomy means that I don't have to give up any part of my body unless I say so.
The baby is not part of your body. The baby is a baby.
Nurture.
Really, my wife is pregnant right now, and she's 30 weeks pregnant.
Yeah.
Actually 32. That baby is kicking the living crap out of her. Okay, that is a living human being in there. Okay, and I promise you that it is not a bundle of cells. Okay, I can guarantee you it's not a bundle of cells because that is a baby. Okay, and I'm sorry, but
a bundle of cells that is requiring.
You're technically a bundle of cells right now.
You could say no. That is the concept of bodily autonomy. The entire concept of why we allow.
Okay. So
we have other questions that need to be asked. You have 10 minutes.
We've gone all down this, but here's the final point. Abortion is a very simple issue. If you believe, as you do apparently, that that's nothing in there but just a bunch of goo, then you're right. If you believe in something called science, that is more than a bundle of goo, then you do not get to kill it just because it's convenient to you. And let me tell you something.
No, science definitely dictates that a fetus, until it can leave the womb and be technically viable, is a bundle of cells inside a person.
Okay, so if you can only live on life support, you're not a person. You stop being a person. So if you get in a car crash today and put you on life support, you're on an iron lung. You take out the iron lung, you're going to die. You're not a person anymore. Is that how this works?
If my brain is no longer functioning?
No, if your brain is functioning, but you can't breathe on your own.
Then I'm still technically viable. Brain function.
No, you're not, because the machine is keeping you alive. Look, again, the bottom line is this. If you are defining whether something is a life or not based on your own convenience, that is the nature of evil. Okay, defining what a human being or not, whether something is a human being or not, based on whether you want it or not, is nasty.
You manipulate science to enhance your own.
You're the one manipulating science. You're the one suggesting that it's like snot. Okay, it's not like snot.
Mental illness, when in fact the DSM-5, which is the definitive psychological examples of mental illness, has declassified.
The DSM is highly politicized and has been for decades. And it was until 2 years ago, it was classified as gender identity disorder of mental illness. Okay, we can move on to questions.
Yeah, because you just don't like what we're saying.
No, see, the difference is I let you talk.
No, let's go. You actually know my father, but you had the same conversations with him, and you shut him down too.
In what way have I shut you down? You've been talking for like 10 minutes here.
She's been talking, I've been talking, but you haven't actually answered her questions.
No, I did. You just don't like the answer, and I'm sorry if you don't like the answer. What's up?
Oh no, I understand your answer, but...
How about you let other people talk?
Again, Ben, thanks for coming. Just had any specific positive trends with the issue you talked about, the election at large? Yeah. Anything positive? Any good news?
Any good news about the election? It'll be over in a few months. Honestly, that's about as good news as I can get. I'm very anti-Trump and obviously very anti-Hillary. So.
Got a question right here.
All right, so you're all about freedom of speech, but since conservatives get a little squeamish when we talk about sex, because God forbid we all do it, and it's a natural function.
I'm aware.
So you're talking about what defines a life or whatever. So scientifically speaking, do you consider semen life? So I'm pretty sure that you probably masturbate a lot because you're a human being. So,
well put, sir. No, I believe, as do most people who feel this way about abortion, that life begins at conception. When sperm meets egg and the child is conceived, that's when life begins. That's what I believe. The rest of the question was weird.
And congratulations if you've made it to the end of the video. I just want to thank you all for watching, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Help us grow, maybe show us to your couple of buddies. And yeah guys, thanks for watching and have a great day.